The Dauntless emerged from the builder structure 12 hours later. Captain Lee Jun stood on the bridge, watching as the massive ring began to change. New sections were growing from the original structure, and bright lights were pulsing along, pathways that hadn't existed before. "Status report," Jun said. Chief Engineer Park Hyo looked up from his instruments with a huge smile on his face. "Sir, it's working perfectly. The builder systems are manufacturing the first transportation gate. According to my readings, it'll be complete in 60 hours. And the broadcasts? Already going out, sir. Every spacefaring civilization in the galaxy is receiving the complete technical specifications for building and operating transportation gates. The data packages include safety protocols, construction methods, and power requirements." Commander Kim Yuna turned from her communication console. "Captain, we're receiving thousands of messages. Every major government, every research institution, every space navy in the galaxy wants to talk to us." "I can imagine. What about Admiral Kextar?" "His fleet is still here, but they're keeping their distance. I think they're waiting for orders from their government." As if summoned by her words, Admiral Kextar's face appeared on the main view screen. The alien looked tired and worried. "Captain Jun, I have been ordered by the Vex High Council to place you under arrest for violations of Council Law 1247, unauthorized, access to classified technology, and endangering galactic security." Jun looked at the alien calmly. "And how exactly do you plan to arrest us, Admiral? Your weapons still can't lock onto our ship." "We have been authorized to use extreme measures, such as ramming attacks, suicide runs. We will sacrifice our ships if necessary to stop you from leaving the system." Jun considered this. The Vex were desperate enough to throw away their lives to prevent the transportation technology from spreading, but they were already too late. "Admiral, the technology is already spreading. We broadcast the specifications 3 hours ago. By now, every major civilization has the information." Kextar's blue skin seemed to grow paler. That's not possible. The Galactic Council has protocols to prevent the spread of dangerous technology." "What protocols? Censorship? Information control?" "Admiral, you can't stop an idea whose time has come," Park Hyo called out from his station. "Captain, I'm receiving confirmation signals from multiple species. The Bruthan clans are already beginning construction of their first gate. The Kethari Science Council has approved immediate implementation. Even the Moltari, who never agree to anything quickly, are setting up construction facilities." "How many species are participating?" Jun asked. "So far? 231, and the number is growing every hour." Kextar looked devastated. "Captain, do you have any idea what you've done? The balance of power that has kept peace in the galaxy for thousands of years. You've destroyed it in a single day." "No, Admiral, we've changed it. There's a difference. The result will be the same. Chaos. War. The collapse of civilization." Jun shook his head. "Maybe some governments will collapse. Maybe some empires will fall. But civilization will be fine. It might even get better." "How can you be so certain?" "Because, Admiral, when people are free to travel, they're also free to talk to each other. And when people from different species start talking, they usually find out they have more in common than their governments want them to believe." A new voice came over the communication channel. It was speaking in perfect galactic standard, but Jun could tell it was human. "Captain Jun, this is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Defense Force. Congratulations on a job well done." "Admiral Chen? How did you get here so fast?" "We've been monitoring your mission from long range. When the builder broadcasts started going out, Earth Command decided it was time to show some support. We have 12 ships holding position just outside the system." Admiral Kextar looked around frantically. 12 ships? My sensors show only empty space." "That's because our ships are using the same reality anchor technology as the Dauntless," Admiral Chen explained. "We've been here for 6 hours." "Captain," Yuna said, "I'm receiving a priority message from the Galactic Council. They're demanding that all species stop construction of transportation gates immediately." "And are the species listening?" "No, sir. In fact, the number of participating civilizations just went up to 273. Park Hyo laughed. "Sir, the Zenthari just announced they're naming their first transportation gate after you. They're calling it the June Gateway. That's flattering. What about the Council? Admiral Chen's voice came over the channel again. The Council is having an emergency session. From what we're hearing, they're talking about economic sanctions against humanity. Economic sanctions, June said. Admiral, in about 3 days, every species in the galaxy will be able to travel instantly to any other system with a transportation gate. What kind of economic sanctions could possibly matter in a situation like that? Good point. Actually, Captain, I have some more news for you. The Council has also voted to offer humanity full membership, with a permanent seat on the Technology Oversight Committee. They're offering us membership after threatening to arrest us? Politics, Captain. When you can't beat them, invite them to join you. Admiral Kextar was listening to this conversation with growing confusion. Admiral Chen, the Galactic Council cannot simply offer membership to a species that has violated fundamental Council law. Actually, Admiral Chen replied, they can. In fact, they just did. Apparently, there's an obscure provision that allows retroactive permission for actions taken in the interest of galactic security. Retroactive permission? That's right. As of 1 hour ago, Captain June's mission to investigate the Kalos system has been officially authorized by the Galactic Council. June couldn't help but smile. So now we had permission all along? Exactly. The Council has also announced that the Builder Transportation Network represents an important step forward in galactic cooperation and unity. Yesterday it was a classified secret. Today it's an important step forward. Yesterday they controlled it. Today everyone has access to it. Amazing how that changes their perspective. Park Hyo called out from his station again. Captain, the first transportation gate is now complete. The builder systems are asking where we'd like it installed. June thought for a moment. Park, can we install it in Earth's solar system? Yes, sir. The specifications show it can be anchored to any large gravitational body. Jupiter would work perfectly. Then let's give humanity its first transportation gate. Already on it, sir. Estimated installation time is 18 hours. Admiral Kextar was still staring at them in disbelief. Captain June, I came here to arrest you for violating our laws. Instead, I've watched you change the entire galaxy and get officially thanked for it. Admiral, sometimes the right thing to do is the wrong thing to do according to the rules. The trick is knowing when the rules are wrong. But how do you know? How can you be certain that what you've done will make things better instead of worse? June looked at the massive builder structure on the view screen. New transportation gates were being constructed inside it, each one destined for a different star system. Soon, species that had never met would be able to visit each other freely. Ideas would spread faster than ever before. Art, science, philosophy, and friendship would flow between worlds like water. I don't know for certain, June admitted. But Admiral, we had two choices. We could keep things the way they were, with some species controlling travel and others being trapped in their home systems, or we could give everyone the same opportunities and see what happens. And you chose uncertainty over stability. We chose freedom over control. And yes, that means accepting uncertainty. Admiral Chen's voice came over the channel one more time. Captain June, you and your crew are ordered to return to Earth for a full debriefing, and Captain? Yes, Admiral. Bring some of those builder technical manuals with you. Earth Command wants to know what other surprises humanity might be ready for. As the Dauntless prepared to leave the Kalos system, June looked around the bridge at his crew. Park Hyo was already studying the next set of builder technologies they had discovered. Yuna was coordinating with the new transportation gate network to plan their road home. Chief, June said, how long until we can use the transportation gates ourselves? About a week, sir. The network is still building up to full capacity. Good. That gives us time to figure out what humanity's next impossible mission should be. Yuna looked at him curiously. Next mission, sir? Of course. We just gave the galaxy free transportation. Now we need to figure out what to do with it. As Chief Engineer Park Hyo began connecting the Dauntless reality anchor systems to the builder technology, the ancient machines around them started to change. New lights appeared, patterns shifted, and the energy levels throughout the structure began to stabilize. "Good," the builder voice said. "Your technology is compatible with our systems. But before we can complete the connection, you must demonstrate that your species is ready for what comes next." Captain Lee Jun frowned. "What do you mean?" "The transportation network we created was not just about moving ships from place to place, it was about connecting civilizations. But connection brings both opportunity and danger. We must know that humanity will use this gift wisely." The space around the Dauntless began to change. The machinery faded away, replaced by what looked like a massive room with walls made of pure energy. 3 doorways appeared in front of them, each one glowing with a different color. 3 tests, the builder voice explained. "Each one will show us how your species thinks about power, conflict, and the future. Complete all 3, and the network will be yours to give to the galaxy." Commander Kim Yuna looked worried. "Captain, what if we fail the tests?" "Then the cascade failure continues, and this entire region of space is destroyed," the builder voice answered. "Choose your first test." June looked at the 3 doorways. He had no idea what was behind any of them, but he knew they had no choice. "We'll take them in order, left to right." The first doorway opened, and suddenly June found himself standing, alone in a different space. He was on what looked like the bridge of a ship, but everything around him was made of the same energy as the builder technology. In front of him was a control panel with a single button. The builder voice spoke to him directly. "Captain June, you now have control of the completed transportation network. Every faster-than-light journey in the galaxy must go through gates that you control. You can allow free passage to any species you choose. You can block access to species you don't trust. You can charge fees for passage. You can build an empire that spans the entire galaxy. What do you do?" June looked at the button. He knew this was a test, but he also knew the builders were serious about the consequences. What he decided here would determine whether humanity got the chance to help complete their network. "I distribute control," he said out loud. "Every spacefaring species gets equal access to the network. No fees, no restrictions, no empire. Even species that might use the network to attack others? Even them. If we start deciding who deserves freedom and who doesn't, we become what we're trying to replace." The energy room dissolved, and June found himself back on the bridge of the Dauntless. The second doorway was opening. This time, Commander Yuna found herself in a different place. She was standing in what looked like a war room. Around her, holographic displays showed 2 massive fleets facing each other across space. One fleet was human, the other was alien. "Commander Yuna," the builder voice said, "you are in command of the human fleet. The alien species has declared war on humanity. They have superior numbers and technology, but you have discovered a way to use the transportation network as a weapon. You can open gateways inside their ships, destroying their entire fleet instantly. Or you can try to find a peaceful solution, knowing that your own people might die if you fail. What do you choose?" Yuna studied the displays. The alien fleet was huge, much bigger than the human fleet. In a fair fight, humanity would lose badly, but she had seen what humans could do when they refused to accept that a fight was fair. "I choose negotiation," she said. "If they want to, fight. We'll find a way to win without becoming murderers. There's always another way." "Even if it means risking the lives of everyone under your command?" "Especially then. The moment we start solving problems by killing everyone who disagrees with us, we stop being worth saving." The war room faded away, and Yuna was back on the bridge. The third doorway was opening. Chief Engineer Park Hyo found himself in a space filled with floating displays showing the entire galaxy. Each display showed a different star system, a different world, a different species. "Engineer Park," the builder voice said, "you have the choice of how to implement the transportation network. You can create a stable system that will work exactly as it does now for the next 1,000,000 years. Or you can create a system that will evolve and grow, becoming more powerful over time. But evolution brings risk. The network might develop beyond your understanding. It might become something you cannot control." What do you choose? Park Hyo looked at all the displays showing the galaxy. He thought about how much the universe had changed since humans first learned to use fire. He thought about all the discoveries that had come from taking risks and trying new things. I choose evolution, he said. A system that stays the same forever isn't really alive. We'll deal with whatever comes next when it comes. Even if it means the network might eventually replace biological intelligence entirely. Even then. If something better than us comes along, maybe that's good for the universe. Our job isn't to stay in control forever. Our job is to make things better and then get out of the way. The displays faded, and Park Hyo was back on the bridge with his colleagues. The builder voice spoke to all of them. Interesting. Most species that have taken these tests chose differently. How differently? June asked. They chose empire over equality. They chose warfare over negotiation. They chose stagnation over evolution. This is why we waited so long to find a species ready for our gift. The energy walls around them dissolved, and they were back in the real structure, surrounded by the ancient builder machines. But now the machines were working differently. Lights pulsed in new patterns, and Park Hyo could see on his instruments that the cascade failure was stopping. The network will now be completed, the builder voice announced. But not in the way the Vex intended. Instead of one species controlling the technology, it will be shared freely with all species. The transportation gates will be built by automated systems and distributed throughout the galaxy. Admiral Kekstar's voice came over the communication channel, and he sounded panicked. Captain June, what are you doing in there? Our instruments show massive changes in the structure's energy patterns. We're finishing what you started, Admiral, but we're doing it right. You can't just give this technology to everyone. There will be chaos. There will be war. There's already war, June replied. There's already chaos. At least now, everyone will have the same chance to deal with it. The builder voice continued. The first new transportation gate will be completed in 72 hours. It will be small, suitable for installing in any star system. The construction templates will be broadcast to every spacefaring civilization simultaneously. Every civilization? Yuna asked. Yes. The Vex, the humans, the Bruthan, the Cathari, the Moltari, and 347 other species. All will receive the same information at the same time. Park Hyo looked at his instruments again. Captain, the energy readings are stabilizing throughout the structure. Whatever they're doing, it's working. Good. How long until we can safely leave? Another hour or so. The reality anchor fields need to adjust to all the changes happening here. June turned to the communication channel. Admiral Kekstar, we'll be leaving the structure soon. I suggest you prepare your government for some major changes. Captain, the Galactic Council will never accept this. They'll declare war on humanity. Then they'll have to fight 348 species instead of just one, because by the time they make that decision, everyone in the galaxy will know what the Council has been hiding. The builder voice spoke one last time. Captain June, you and your species have proven worthy of trust. The galaxy will change because of what happens here today. Change brings both opportunity and danger. We trust you will help others navigate. Both. We'll do our best, June replied. That is all anyone can do. The network is now yours to share. Use it well. The Dauntless approached the opening in the massive ring structure. Captain Lee June could see energy patterns dancing across the entrance like lightning, frozen in time. Through the opening, strange lights flickered in colors that hurt to look at directly. Captain, Commander Kim Yuna said, Admiral Kekstar is trying to contact us again. Put him on screen. The alien admiral's face appeared on the view screen. His blue skin looked darker than before, and his large black eyes were wide with fear. Captain June, you cannot enter the structure. In 15,000 years of study, we have sent over 3,000 probes inside. None of them ever came back. The energy fields inside will destroy your ship instantly. Admiral, June replied. Have your probes ever had reality anchor fields? No, but that doesn't matter. The forces inside that structure are beyond anything you can imagine. Chief Engineer Park Hyo looked up from his instruments. Sir, I'm reading the energy patterns at the entrance. Our reality anchor fields should be able to create a stable corridor through the worst of it. Should be? Yuna asked. Well, we've never tested them against builder technology before, but the theoretical calculations look good. June made his decision. We're going in. Captain June, Kextar said desperately. If you destroy your ship, inside the structure it could trigger the cascade failure immediately. You'll kill everyone in this system. And if we don't try to stop the cascade failure, everyone in this system dies anyway, plus everyone in the neighboring systems. Our scientists are working on a solution. Admiral, your scientists have been working on this problem for centuries. How much progress have they made? Kextar didn't answer. That's what I thought, June said. We're going to try a different approach. The Dauntless entered the structure. Immediately, the ship was surrounded by swirling energy fields. The lights on the bridge flickered as the reality anchor fields worked to keep the ship stable. Status report, June called out. Park Hyo was working frantically at his console. Reality anchor fields holding steady. The energy patterns are trying to disrupt our systems, but we're maintaining stability. Good. What are you seeing on sensors? Sir, this place is incredible. The interior of the structure is bigger than it should be. The space inside has been expanded somehow. I'm reading multiple levels, each one filled with different types of machinery. Yuna pointed at the main view screen. Captain, look at that. Ahead of them, massive machines hung in the artificial space. They were clearly builder technology, but unlike anything humanity had ever imagined. The machines were beautiful and terrifying at the same time, covered with symbols that seemed to move and change as they watched. Those are manufacturing systems, Park Hyo said. The builders used them to create the transportation gates, and sir, some of them are still running. Still running after millions of years? Yes, sir. The power systems in this place are incredible. They're drawing energy from multiple dimensions. As they moved deeper into the structure, more machines became visible. Some were obviously broken, their surfaces dark and cold. Others still pulsed with energy, working on projects that had been started eons ago. Park, can you tell what they're making? I think. Yes, sir, they're building smaller versions of this structure, transportation gates that could be installed in any system. But the process is incomplete. Suddenly, new lights began appearing all around them. Beams of energy swept across the Dauntless, and the ship's computers began receiving massive amounts of data. What's happening? June asked. Sir, something is scanning us. Not trying to hurt us, just learning about us. The energy beams stopped, and a new voice spoke over the communication system. It didn't sound like any alien language they had heard before. It sounded ancient and powerful. Welcome, young travelers. You are the first to enter this place with the wisdom to protect yourselves. What brings you here? June looked around the bridge. Did anyone else hear that? Yes, sir, Yuna said. The translation is coming through perfectly, but I've never heard a language like that before. Computer systems of the builders, Park Hyo said with excitement. They're still active. June stepped forward. We're here because your structure is becoming unstable. We want to help prevent a disaster. Interesting. The young species offers help to fix what the old species has broken. Tell us humans, what do you know of our work? We know you were trying to share transportation technology with all species in the galaxy. We know this structure is a prototype for creating that technology. And we know the Vex have been experimenting with it without understanding how it works. Correct on all points. The Vex have been attempting to reverse engineer our technology for their exclusive use. This was not its intended purpose. Admiral Kextar's voice came over their communication channel. Captain June, who are you talking to in there? The builders, June replied. That's impossible. The builders have been extinct for millions of years. The ancient voice spoke again. Not extinct. Evolved. We became one with our technology long ago. We have been waiting for a species wise enough to complete our work. Park Hyo was reading his instruments with growing excitement. Captain, I'm understanding more about how this technology works. The builders weren't just creating transportation gates. They were creating a network that would connect the entire galaxy. A network? Yes, sir. Every gate would be connected to every other gate. Any species could travel anywhere instantly. No more barriers between worlds. That would change everything, Yuna said. The builder voice continued. Indeed. But the work must be completed properly. The Vex have damaged the prototype by attempting to force it to work without the necessary safeguards. Can we fix it? June asked. We can, but it will require trust and cooperation between species. The human approach to this problem is refreshing. What do you mean? You did not ask for permission before coming here. You did not seek to claim ownership of what you found. You offered help to prevent disaster even for those who threatened you. This is the wisdom we sought. Park Hyo looked at his readings again. Captain, I think I understand what they want us to do. Our reality anchor technology could provide the stabilization systems needed to complete the prototype. What would that mean? It would mean finishing what the builders started, creating a galaxy-wide transportation network that any species could use. Admiral Kextar's voice cut in again. Captain June, you cannot do this. The political implications would be devastating. The balance of power in the galaxy would change, June finished. Yes, Admiral, it would. Instead of some species controlling travel between the stars, all species would be free to explore. That's not how civilization works, Captain. There must be order. There must be control. The builder voice spoke with what sounded like amusement. The Vex speak of order and control, yet they have brought chaos and instability to our work. The humans speak of freedom and cooperation. Which approach seems more likely to succeed? Park Hyo called out from his station. Captain, the cascade failure is accelerating. If we're going to do something, it has to be now. June looked around the bridge at his crew. What do you think? Sir, Yuna said, if we help complete this technology, we'll change the entire galaxy forever. Some species won't be happy about that. And if we don't, Park Hyo added, the cascade failure will destroy multiple star systems, and the technology will be lost forever. So our choice is between changing everything or losing everything? That's about the size of it, sir. The builder voice spoke again. Captain June, the choice is yours, but choose quickly. The damage done by centuries of misuse cannot be delayed much longer. June thought about all the species in the galaxy who were trapped in their home systems because they couldn't afford faster-than-light travel. He thought about all the worlds that remained unexplored because the journey was too dangerous or too expensive. He thought about what the galaxy could become if every species could travel freely. Do it, he said. Sir? Park Hyo asked. Connect our reality anchor systems to the builder technology. Complete the prototype. Give the galaxy its freedom. The Dauntless moved closer to the massive ring-shaped structure. Captain Lee June stood at the main view screen, watching as more details became visible. The structure was even more impressive up close. The metal surface was covered with patterns and symbols that seemed to shift and change as they watched. Chief Park, what are your instruments telling you now? June asked. Park Hyo was working frantically at his console. Sir, this is incredible. The structure isn't just one piece. It's made up of millions of smaller components all working together. And the energy patterns? They're creating some kind of space-time distortion. Commander Kim Yuna looked at the readings on her screen. Captain, I'm detecting massive gravitational anomalies all around the structure. It's like the thing is bending space itself. Admiral Kextar's voice came over the communication system. Captain June, you are getting too close to the structure. Our safety protocols require all vessels to maintain a distance of at least 10 kilometers. Why? June asked. What happens if we get closer? There was a pause before Kextar answered. The gravitational effects become unpredictable. Park Hyo looked up from his instruments. Sir, I think I know what this thing is. The energy patterns, the space-time distortions, the gravitational effects, they all match theoretical models for an instantaneous transportation device. You mean like a teleporter? Yuna asked. Bigger than that. This thing could transport entire fleets across the galaxy in seconds, no hyperspace travel needed, just instant movement from one point to another. June felt a chill. If this was true, then whoever controlled this technology could travel anywhere in the galaxy instantly. They could appear in any system without warning, move entire armies in, moments or escape from any threat immediately. Chief, are you sure about this? As sure as I can be without getting closer and running more detailed scans. June made a decision. Then let's get closer. Sir, Una said, Admiral Kextar warned us about the safety protocols. And I'm sure those protocols were written by people who don't understand the technology they're studying. June replied, We need to know what we're dealing with. The Dauntless continued toward the structure. As they got closer, Parkio's readings became more detailed and more disturbing. Captain, I'm detecting massive instabilities in the structure's power core. The energy levels are fluctuating wildly. Whatever the Vex have been doing, they're pushing this thing way beyond safe limits. How beyond safe limits? Sir, if my calculations are correct, the entire structure could suffer a cascade failure within hours. And if that happens... What happens? Parkio's face was pale. The gravitational distortions could tear apart everything within several light years. This entire system would be destroyed, and the damage might spread to neighboring systems. On the communication channel, Admiral Kextar's voice sounded worried. Captain June, our monitoring stations are detecting unusual readings from your vessel. What kind of scans are you running? The kind that tell us you're in serious trouble? June replied. Admiral, how long have your people been experimenting with this structure? Our research has been ongoing for many centuries. And in all that time, have you figured out how it works? Another pause. We have made significant progress in understanding the basic principles. That's not what I asked. Do you know how it works? The technology is extremely complex. Even our best scientists. That's a no, June said. You've been playing with something you don't understand for hundreds of years and now it's breaking down. Park Hyo called out from his station. Captain, I'm reading something new. There are markings appearing on the structure's surface. The computer is translating them now. Text appeared on the main screen. Everyone on the bridge read it in silence. Dimensional Gateway, Builder Prototype 7. Warning, incomplete design. Do not activate without proper stabilization systems. Prototype 7, Una said. That means they built at least 6 others. And this one isn't even finished, Parkio added. Sir, the Vex have been trying to use an incomplete prototype. That's why it's becoming unstable. Admiral Kextar's voice came over the channel again, and this time he sounded desperate. Captain June, we need to discuss this situation privately. Can you come aboard my flagship? Not a chance, June replied. But we can keep talking over the open channel. This is not a matter for public discussion. Admiral, in a few hours. This might be a matter for galactic disaster. I think the public has a right to know. You don't understand the political implications of this situation. Then explain them to me. There was a long silence before Kextar spoke again. Captain, the existence of this structure is classified at the highest levels of the Galactic Council. If other species knew about builder technology, it would destabilize the entire political structure of the galaxy, because whoever controls it would have unlimited power, June said. The Vex hegemony has been the guardian of this technology for 15,000 years. We have prevented it from falling into the wrong hands. Whose hands would those be? Anyone else's. Parkio looked up from his console. Captain, I'm detecting more instabilities. The cascade failure is accelerating. We might have less time than I thought. June turned back to the communication channel. Admiral, your guardianship is about to destroy the thing you're trying to protect, and it might take half the galaxy with it. That's impossible. Our scientists have run thousands of simulations. Your simulations are based on incomplete understanding of the technology. You've been guessing for 15,000 years, and now your guesses are running out. Even if that were true, what could you possibly do? Your species is barely out of its home system. June looked around the bridge at his crew. Parkio was still working at his instruments, trying to understand the alien technology. Una was monitoring the Vex ships, making sure they weren't preparing for an attack. Both of them looked confident despite the impossible situation they were in. Admiral, that's exactly why we can help. We're not locked into thinking that's thousands of years old. We look at problems with fresh eyes. Fresh eyes won't help if you don't have the knowledge to understand what you're seeing. Maybe not, but sometimes fresh eyes see things that experienced eyes miss. Park Hyo called out again. Captain, I think I've found something. The structure isn't just a transportation device. It's also a manufacturing system. The builders were using it to create new transportation gates and distribute them throughout the galaxy. Can you prove that? I'm reading construction templates stored in the structure's memory banks. Plans for smaller, simpler versions of this device. The builders were planning to give transportation technology to every spacefaring species in the galaxy. Yuna looked surprised. They were going to share it? Not keep it for themselves? According to these records, yes. The builders believed that faster transportation would help all species work together and explore the galaxy more effectively. June turned back to the communication channel. Admiral Kextar, did you hear that? Our scientists have found similar records, but those are just theoretical plans. Are they? Or has your government been sitting on technology that could benefit everyone while pretending to be its protectors? Captain, you don't understand the complexities of galactic politics. I understand that you've been hiding something that belongs to everyone. And now, because you've been trying to reverse engineer it instead of understanding it, you're about to destroy it. Park Hyo's voice was urgent now. Captain, the energy fluctuations are reaching critical levels. We need to do something soon, or it's going to be too late. June made his decision. Admiral Kextar, we're going inside the structure. What? That's suicide. The interior is filled with energy fields that will destroy any ship that enters. Then we'd better hope our reality anchor fields work as well on the inside as they do on the outside. Admiral Kextar's fleet had formed a circle around the human ship. The 12 Vex vessels were much larger than the Dauntless, and their weapons were aimed directly at the human vessel. On the bridge of the Dauntless, Captain Lee Jun watched the alien ships with calm interest. Sir, they have us completely surrounded, Commander Kim Yuna reported. Each of those ships has enough firepower to destroy us 10 times over. But they can't get a weapons lock because of our reality anchor fields, Chief Engineer Park Hyo added. They're probably very frustrated right now. June nodded. Good. Frustrated people make mistakes, and we might need them to make a mistake. Another transmission came from Admiral Kextar's ship. The alien's blue face appeared on the main screen again, and this time he looked angry. Captain June, you will explain your presence here immediately. Under Council Law 1247, no species may enter Vex sovereign space without explicit permission from both the Vex government and the Galactic Council. You have violated this law by coming here. Commander Yuna stepped forward. She had studied diplomatic protocols at the Academy, and she knew the proper way to handle first contact situations. Admiral Kextar, the Terran Federation wishes to establish peaceful relations with your people. We request permission to— No, Captain June said, cutting her off. Yuna looked at him in surprise. June walked past her to face the view screen. Directly. Admiral Kextar, June said in a clear, strong voice. This is Captain Lee Jun of the Terran Federation. We detected dangerous energy readings from this system 3 months ago. These readings match theoretical models for technology that could threaten the security of the entire galaxy. We are here to investigate this threat. We will proceed with our mission. The bridge of the Dauntless was completely silent. Even Park Hyo stopped working at his console to stare at his captain. No one had ever heard of a human ship simply announcing its intentions to a superior alien force and then continuing with its mission. On the view screen, Admiral Kextar's mouth opened and closed several times before he could speak. Captain, did you just tell me what you are going to do without asking for permission? That's correct, June replied. But that's not how first contact works. When a new species meets the Vex, they request permission to enter our space. They explain their intentions. They wait for approval. They follow our instructions. This is how it has been done for 50,000 years. June shrugged. Well, we're doing it differently. Kextar turned to talk to someone off screen. When he turned back, he looked even more confused than before. Captain, my advisors tell me that even the Bruthan war clans request transit papers before entering Vex space. The Bruthan are the most aggressive species in the galaxy. and even they follow proper procedures. Interesting, June said, but we're not the Bruthen. Then what are you? Kextar demanded. We're humans, and humans don't ask for permission when lives are at stake. Park Hyo was monitoring the alien ships on his instruments. Captain, I'm reading increased energy levels from their weapons systems. They're preparing to fire. June didn't seem worried. Are our defensive systems ready? Yes, sir. Reality anchor fields at full power. June turned back to the view screen. Admiral Kextar, we understand that you're upset, but we're not here to hurt anyone or steal anything. We're here because that structure over there is putting out energy readings that suggest it might be unstable. If it fails, it could take this entire system with it. That's impossible, Kextar said quickly. Our scientists have been studying the structure for centuries. It's perfectly safe. Your scientists might be wrong, June replied. Our readings suggest that whatever you're doing over there is pushing ancient technology beyond its safe limits. Kextar's eyes went wide. How could you possibly know about... what makes you think we're doing anything to the structure? Park Hyo looked at his captain. Sir, that sounded like he just admitted they're experimenting with it. It did, didn't it? June said with a small smile. On the view screen, Kextar realized his mistake. His blue skin seemed to turn a darker shade. Captain June, you will turn around and leave this system immediately. If you do not comply, I will be forced to destroy your vessel. With what? June asked. You can't get a weapons lock on us. We have other ways, Kextar said. Ways that don't require targeting locks. Such as? Gravity mines. We can drop them in your path, or we could use tractor beams to drag you into one of our ship's weapons range. Park Hyo checked his instruments. Sir, they're launching something. Multiple small objects heading our way. Gravity mines, Yuna said. If they get close enough, they'll create artificial gravity fields that will trap us. June looked at Park Hyo. Can our reality anchor fields handle gravity mines? I think so, sir. The field should disrupt any artificial gravity effects. Good. Let's test that theory. The gravity mines reached the Dauntless and exploded in bright flashes of light. But instead of creating the expected gravity fields, they simply fizzled, out like broken fireworks. On the view screen, Admiral Kextar stared in disbelief. Impossible. Gravity mines work on every known type of ship. Well, June said, now you know about a new type of ship. Captain, Park Hyo said, I'm getting more detailed readings from the structure now that we're closer. Sir, this is definitely builder technology. The power core alone is more advanced than anything we've ever seen. Builders? Kextar said, apparently forgetting that the transmission was still open. How could they possibly know about the builders? June raised an eyebrow. So you admit it. You've been experimenting with builder technology. Kextar quickly tried to cover his mistake. I admit nothing. You are trespassing in Vex space, and you will leave immediately. Admiral, June said seriously, if you're playing around with builder technology without understanding it, you could destroy this entire system, maybe even damage hyperspace itself. Our scientists know what they're doing, Kextar insisted. Do they? Then why are the energy readings so unstable? Why does our analysis show cascade failure patterns building up in the structure's core? This time, Kextar didn't respond immediately. He turned away from the view screen to talk to his crew. June could hear voices arguing in the alien language, but the translation system couldn't pick up what they were saying. When Kextar turned back, his expression was different, less angry, more worried. Captain June, what exactly are your sensors telling you? That you're in serious trouble, June replied. The structure is building up to some kind of major failure. Your experiments are destabilizing systems that have been stable for millions of years. Even if that were true, which it isn't, what could you possibly do about it? Your species has only had faster-than-light travel for 200 years, June smiled. Admiral, that's exactly why we might be able to help. We don't think like you do. We don't assume that just because something has worked for thousands of years, it will keep working forever. We look for problems and figure out how to fix them. Park Hyo looked at his readings again. Captain, the energy fluctuations are getting worse. Whatever they're doing over there, it's accelerating the breakdown. How long do we have? June asked. Hard to say. Maybe a few days, maybe a few hours. June turned back to the view screen. Admiral Kekstar, we need to work together on this. Your people have been studying this structure for centuries. We have fresh ideas and technology you've never seen. Together, we might be able to prevent a disaster. Work together? Kekstar said. Captain, you have violated our laws, invaded our space, and now you want us to trust you with our most important research project? Yes, June said simply. That's not how things are done. No, June agreed. It isn't. But sometimes, Admiral, the old ways don't work for new problems. Sometimes you need people who are willing to break the rules. Kekstar stared at him for a long moment. Captain, what makes you think we would ever agree to such a thing? June pointed at the structure on the main view screen. Because, Admiral, if we're right about what's happening over there, you don't have a choice. Captain Lee June stood on the bridge of the Terran ship Dauntless. The stars outside the windows had just stopped moving. They had arrived at their destination after 3 weeks of travel through hyperspace. The ship was now at the edge of the Kalos system. Status report, June said to his crew. Commander Kim Yuna looked at her screen and frowned. Sir, we have a problem. This entire system is marked as restricted space. No ships are allowed here without permission from the Galactic Council. Chief O. Engineer Park Hyo turned from his console. Captain, I'm reading massive energy signatures from the third planet. The readings are off the charts. Whatever is down there, it's big. June walked to the main view screen. In the distance, he could see a huge structure orbiting around a green planet. The structure was ring-shaped and seemed to be made of some kind of metal that reflected light in strange ways. It was bigger than any space station he had ever seen. How big is that thing? June asked. Park Hyo checked his instruments. Sir, it's about 50 kilometers across, and it's putting out more energy than our entire home system. Suddenly, warning lights began flashing all over the bridge. A loud alarm started beeping. Yuna quickly worked at her controls to find out what was happening. Captain, we're being scanned by multiple sources. Automated warning beacons are activating all around the system, Yuna reported. A message appeared on the main screen. The words were in an alien language, but the ship's computer quickly translated them. The message was simple and direct. Warning. You are in restricted Vex territory. Unauthorized vessels will be destroyed. Leave immediately or face annihilation. The bridge crew looked at their captain. They all knew that most human ships would turn around and leave when they got a message like this. The Galactic Council was powerful, and the Vex were one of their founding members. No one wanted to start a war, but June had not brought his ship here by accident. 3 months ago, long-range sensors had detected the energy signatures from this system. The readings matched theoretical calculations about advanced faster-than-light travel technology. If another alien race had figured out how to travel instantly between stars, humanity needed to know about it. Sir, Yuna said carefully, maybe we should contact Earth Command first. Get permission to proceed. June shook his head. By the time we get permission, whatever is happening here could be over. Or worse, they might move it somewhere we can't find it. Park Hyo pointed at his screens. Captain, I'm detecting at least 12 ships moving toward us. They're big ones, too. Looks like a full patrol fleet. Can we outrun them? June asked. Maybe, Park Hyo replied. But if we leave now, we might never get another chance to find out what that structure is. June looked at the ring-shaped object on the view screen. Something about it seemed familiar, though he couldn't place what it was. The energy readings were unlike anything in human databases, but there was a pattern to them that reminded him of theoretical research he had read years ago. Captain, Yuna said, the alien ships will be in weapons range in 10 minutes. June made his decision. We're not leaving. Set course for that structure. I want to know what it is. Sir, that's a direct violation of Galactic Council law, Yuna pointed out. Then we'd better make sure what we find is worth the trouble, June replied. The Dauntless moved deeper into the Kalos system. Behind them, the alien patrol ships followed, getting closer with each minute. The structure ahead of them grew larger on the view screen, and Parkio's readings became more detailed. "Captain, this is incredible," Parkio said, excitement in his voice. "The structure isn't just generating energy, it's manipulating space itself. The readings suggest it might be some kind of transportation device." "Transportation to where?" June asked. "Anywhere in the galaxy, sir. Maybe even beyond." Yuna looked worried. "Sir, if that's true, then no wonder the Vex don't want anyone else to know about it. Technology like that would change everything." "Exactly," June said, "which is why we need to investigate." The alien ships were getting closer now. Park Hyo could see them clearly on his sensors. They were sleek vessels, much more advanced than most human ships. Each one was twice the size of the Dauntless and carried enough weapons to destroy a small moon. "Incoming transmission," Yuna announced. "Put it on screen." An alien face appeared on the view screen. The creature had blue skin, large black eyes, and no visible nose. When it spoke, its voice was translated by the ship's computer into perfect English. "Human vessel, I am Fleet Admiral Kextar of the Vex Hegemony. You are in violation of Council Law 1247. You will turn around and leave this system immediately, or we will be forced to destroy you." June stepped forward so the alien could see him clearly. "Admiral Kextar, I am Captain Lee June of the Terran Federation. We're here on a scientific mission to investigate energy readings that could pose a threat to galactic security." Kextar's large eyes seemed to grow even larger. "You dare to ignore our warnings? No species has ever entered Vex space without permission. Even the warrior clans of Bruthen ask for transit papers." "Well," June said calmly, "we're not most species." The alien admiral seemed confused by this response. "Captain June, you have 30 seconds to change course or we will open fire." June looked at Park Hyo. "Chief, how are our defensive systems?" "All ready, sir. The new reality anchor fields are online and functioning." June turned back to the view screen. "Admiral Kextar, we respect your authority in this system, but we have a job to do, and we intend to do it. We're not here to cause trouble, but we won't be turned away by threats." "This is madness," the alien said. "You are one ship against 12. Your weapons cannot possibly match ours." "You're probably right," June admitted. "But we're not here to fight. We're here to learn. And sometimes, Admiral, learning requires taking risks that others won't take." Kextar seemed to be talking to someone off-screen. When he turned back, his expression was even more confused than before. "Captain, my weapons officers report that they cannot lock onto your vessel. What kind of defensive technology are you using?" Park Hyo grinned. "The reality. Anchor fields create a stable pocket of spacetime around the ship. It makes it very hard to target us with conventional weapons or trap us with FTL interdiction fields." "Impossible," Kextar said. "No known technology can do that." "Well," June replied, "you learn something new every day." The Dauntless continued, toward the mysterious structure. The Vex ships followed but kept their distance, apparently unsure how to deal with a ship they couldn't properly target. As they got closer to the ring-shaped object, Park Hyo's instruments picked up more details. "Captain, I'm reading construction techniques that don't match any known technology. This thing is old, really old." "How old?" Yuna asked. "Maybe millions of years." "And sir, there are markings on the surface. The computer is trying to translate them now." A few seconds later, text appeared on Park Hyo's screen. His face went pale as he read it. "Captain, according to the translation, this structure was built by something called the Builders." June felt a chill run down his spine. Every spacefaring species had heard legends about the Builders. They were supposed to be an ancient race that had created the hyperspace lanes that connected the galaxy. But no one had ever found proof they really existed. "If this is Builder technology," Yuna said quietly, "then we might have just found the most important discovery in galactic history." June nodded. "And now we know why the Vex don't want anyone else to know about it."